child, before you close your eyes tonight, before the world slips into shadows and silence, before your thoughts carry you into 100 memories or worries, pause just for a moment. Stay with me. I've been waiting for this quiet, not because I need your attention, but because you need the peace that only my presence brings. You've carried so much today, haven't you? Maybe you smiled for others, even when you were aching inside. Maybe you held back tears so no one would worry. Maybe you did everything expected of you and still felt unseen. Or maybe you simply moved through the day in silence, wondering if it mattered. Let me tell you something tender, something true. I saw every bit of it, and I'm here now, just for you. So stay with me a while. Let my voice be the last one you hear tonight. Let my words sink deeper than the worries, the lists, the noise of the day. You're not alone. I know your body is tired, aches in places you never expected to notice. I know your heart is heavier than you let on. And I know that as the night wraps around you, old memories begin to stir. But child, tonight isn't for regret. It isn't for fear. It's not even for fixing anything. Tonight is for resting in me. Do you remember the nights when someone used to tuck you in? When a voice would say, "It's okay now. You can sleep. You're safe." That's what I want to whisper to your soul tonight. I know what's behind your eyes, even when they close. I know the questions that rise up when the world quiets down. Did I do enough? Will tomorrow be harder? Am I still needed? Will the pain go away? Let me answer with my peace. Yes, you did enough. Yes, I'm already in your tomorrow. Yes, you are still needed. And yes, healing is coming, maybe slowly, but certainly. Tonight, lay your burdens down, not just beside your bed, but into my hands. You've earned your rest, beloved, not because you were perfect, but because you were present, because you showed up, because you kept going when you didn't think you could. That matters to me. Let my love be your blanket tonight. Let my mercy wrap around your shoulders. Let my presence fill the room where you rest like a soft glow no one else can see but your spirit knows is there. I'll be here through every breath, through every dream, through every tear that falls quietly into the pillow. Close your eyes, child. The world can wait. Heaven is watching over you. And I am near. All my love, Jesus, my beloved child. From the moment the sun rose this morning, you were on my mind. Before your feet touched the floor, before the kettle whistled, before the world stirred, you awake, I was already thinking of you. You might think I'm far away tending to more important things, storms, nations, miracles, others with louder prayers. But let me tell you something sacred, something true. You are never lost in the crowd. Today I watched you take that deep breath before starting your day. I saw how you whispered under your breath, "Lord, help me today," as you buttoned your shirt, brushed your hair, or looked into the mirror and tried to muster courage. I heard it, and I answered, not always in the way you expected, but always in the way you needed. I saw the moment you pause to check in on someone else, even when you were feeling a little empty yourself. I noticed how you carried that quiet weight, the one no one else knows about, and how you didn't let it stop you from showing kindness. And I smiled, because that's who you are even when you doubt your worth. You walked into rooms today that reminded you of what's been lost. You heard words that reopened wounds. You remembered people whose voices you miss. And yet, here you are, still listening, still believing, still reaching for me, even if just in whispers. That is faith, child. Not loud, not perfect, not without questions, but persistent, quiet, deep. Do you remember how many times today you laughed? Maybe only once, maybe not at all. That's okay. Joy doesn't always come in bursts of sound. Sometimes it's in the flicker of hope that things will get better. Sometimes it's in that tiny thought, I made it through another day. And you did. You made it. You might not feel like a hero, but to me you're a miracle. You're someone who chooses to love even when it hurts, who gives when it's not always returned, who gets up when staying down feels easier. I walked beside you through every hallway, every phone call, every memory that surfaced out of nowhere. I even sat with you during the silence when you looked out the window and your thoughts drifted to places you couldn't quite name. I was there, still am, always will be. Tonight, I want you to know that I celebrate you, not for being perfect, but for being present. I want you to know that when I look at you, I don't see what the world sees. I don't measure you by accomplishments, status, or strength. I see your heart. I see the battles you've fought just to smile today. I see the memories that visit you when the house gets quiet, and I see the tenderness you carry for those you love. So rest, dear one. Let go of the weight you picked up today. It's safe now. You are safe now. And as you drift into sleep, remember this. You were on my mind today. You'll be on my mind tomorrow. And no matter where life takes you next, you'll never walk a single step without me. Good night for now, Jesus. My dear child, there is a moment I've cherished since the beginning of your life, a moment that may have slipped your memory, but it has never slipped mine. I remember the very first time you whispered my name. It might have been in a church pew, your little hands folded awkwardly in your lap, your eyes wide, not fully understanding who I was, but sensing somehow that I was near. Or maybe it was during a storm, one outside your window, or inside your heart, when fear wrapped itself around your chest, and all you could manage was a trembling, Jesus, please help. And I did. Maybe your first prayer wasn't poetic. Maybe it wasn't said aloud. Maybe it was simply a thought, a longing for something, someone greater. But child, even the softest call to me reaches heaven like a trumpet. I heard it. I still hear it. Do you know what I felt in that moment? Joy. Joy unlike anything else in all creation. Because when you spoke my name, you opened the door for me to enter your story more deeply, and I've stayed ever since. Even when you wandered, even when you questioned, Even when life pulled your gaze elsewhere, I stayed. Not to punish, not to shame, but to love, to guide, to whisper in the stillness, I'm still here. You see, love that is eternal does not flinch at silence. It does not retreat in disappointment. It waits. And I have waited for you in hospital rooms, on lonely porches, in quiet car rides, and long walks where your mind replayed the past. I've waited for you after every heartbreak, after every goodbye, after every funeral, where you looked up and wondered, is there more? Yes, beloved, there is more. There's always more with me, because I am the God of beginnings and the one who never forgets first love. And you are my first love. You don't have to earn that. You never did. That childlike moment when you first reached for me, that was enough. That was everything. I carry that memory like a treasure close to my heart, just as I carry you. You may have grown older, but you are still my child. Your voice may sound different now, but I still recognize it instantly. You may wonder if you've drifted too far, but I assure you, you're still just one whisper away. Call my name again tonight, not out of fear, not out of duty, but because I'm right here and I miss the sound of your voice. Even now as the stars blink overhead and the quiet of night wraps around, you know this, that same Jesus who heard you back then hears you still and loves you even more. Sleep now, little one. Let the weight of the years fall away. Let your heart return just for a moment to that first innocent faith. It's still alive, and so am I, right here, right now. Yours forever, Jesus, my precious child. Before you drift into dreams tonight, I need you to know something you may have doubted lately. You are not forgotten. Not by me, not by heaven, not by the story that is still unfolding around you. I know there are days when the phone is too quiet, when the mailbox stays empty, when the chair across the room sits untouched, and the silence echoes louder than any voice. I know what it feels like to wonder if your life still matters, if anyone notices the ache in your bones or the memories that slip through your fingers like sand. But beloved, listen closely. I notice, I see, and I remember. You have lived through seasons most cannot understand. You have loved and lost, sacrificed and served, laughed through pain, and hoped in the middle of disappointment. You have been someone's shoulder, someone's prayer warrior, someone's safe place, even when you yourself needed comfort. That is not forgotten. Your name is written in my heart, etched in eternal love, not with ink that fades, but with the very breath of the one who formed you. And when the world moves too fast, when others overlook the wisdom in your quiet words or forget the richness of your experience, I do not. To me, your life is not a summary. It is not a page that has turned. It is a living testimony of perseverance, grace, and faith. You are still part of my plan. Even now, especially now in these slower, quieter years, you carry something sacred, the gift of presence, the strength of reflection, and the power to bless those still running their race. Sometimes you wonder why I haven't called you home yet. But child, there is still someone who needs your story, still a heart who will soften because of your words, still a moment ahead where your prayer will open a door only heaven can see. And until then I walk with you, step for step, memory for memory, breath for breath. When the mirror shows you wrinkles and weariness, I see courage. I see a face that's looked up in storms and still believes the sun will rise. You are not invisible. You are not past your purpose. You are known, valued, loved. So as you rest your head, tonight know that angels keep watch, not because you are weak, but because you are cherished. And I whisper your name like a lullaby, soft and steady, until sleep comes gently. You are not forgotten, my child, not for a single second. Good night for now, but not goodbye. With eternal tenderness, Jesus, my dear faithful child, tonight, before you let go of the day, let me hold your heart for a little while. Let me remind you of something quiet, something sacred. I have seen every tear you've ever cried. Not one has gone unnoticed. Not one has been wasted. Some of those tears were loud rolling down your cheeks in moments of deep grief. Goodbyes you didn't want to say, fears you didn't know how to face. Others were silent, the kind you cried behind closed doors, into your pillow, or during a long drive when no one else was watching. But I was watching. I saw the tears you blinked back when you didn't want to seem weak. I felt the ache behind the smile you gave when your heart was breaking inside. And I gathered them. Every tear is being collected in a jar that only heaven can hold, not because your sorrow defines you, but because your pain matters to me. I've wept with you. When you lost someone too soon, I stood beside you in the silence. When the doctor gave hard news, I held your hand, even if you didn't feel it. When your body failed you, I whispered strength into your spirit. I know how heavy the years can feel, how memories carry joy and sorrow together like old photographs that make you smile and ache. There were days you didn't think you'd make it, and yet you did, because even when you had no words, your tears became prayers, and I answered them in ways you may never fully see on this side of eternity. Child, don't ever be ashamed of your tears. They are not weakness. They are courage in its rawest form. They are love poured out. They are the language of the soul, and I speak that language fluently. You've grieved well. You've loved deeply, and you've trusted me even when all you could do was cry. That is holy. Tonight, let me be the one who holds you, not just your hands, but the aching parts of your heart that still long for what was lost. You don't have to hide that pain from me. Bring it here into the quiet. Let it breathe. Let it be held. And as you rest, know this. Every tear you've cried has built a bridge between us, a bridge of intimacy, of trust, of love beyond words. I've counted each one, and someday soon, I will wipe every single tear from your eyes, forever. Until then, sleep in peace. You are seen. You are held. You are loved beyond measure. With all my compassion, Jesus, my beloved child, as you lie down tonight and your body seeks rest, let me speak gently to the marks that time and life have etched into your soul. The scars you carry are sacred to me. I see them, I honor them, I know their stories. Some of your scars are visible. The slow healing of surgeries, the lines that tell of age and survival, the proof of battles fought and endured. Others live deeper, invisible to the eyes of those around you, but so very present in your quietest thoughts. Wounds from broken relationships, betrayals that left you wondering if love could ever feel safe again. Moments where you gave everything and were left empty. Years where your voice was quieted, your value questioned your spirit, bruised by life's relentless storms. Child, I see every one of them, and though I did not cause your pain, I have never wasted it. Each scar tells me of your bravery. Each one says, this child did not give up. Each one whispers, here is where they could have quit, but chose to believe again. Let me tell you a truth that only love can say. Your scars are not shameful. They are sacred, because they mean you lived, you loved, you tried, you broke and mended again and again. Even I carry scars. Yes, me. Look at my hands, my feet, my side. I did not hide my wounds. I offered them. They became the greatest evidence of my love for you. So when you see your scars, whether on your skin or in your memory, remember this: you share something holy with me. You know what it means to endure, to sacrifice, to hope again when hope seemed lost. Don't cover them in shame. Don't speak about them with regret. Let them be reminders that you are still here, still breathing, still believing, still loved. If only you could see how heaven celebrates your courage. Tonight, as you rest, I invite you to lay your scars in my hands, not to erase them, but to bless them. Let me show you what beauty can rise from broken places. Let me remind you that the parts of you that ache are the very places where my love flows most freely. And tomorrow, when you wake, don't hide from the world. Walk gently, speak kindly to yourself, and remember that the one who carries you understands scars more deeply than anyone else ever could. I am with you, wounded and risen, scarred and shining, and so are you. Good night now, my beautiful mended child. Let peace rest where pain once lived. With my tenderest care, Jesus, my dear child, before you drift into dreams, I need you to hear this in the deepest part of your soul. Nothing you've done, nothing can make me leave you. Not your worst moment, not your harshest word, not the years you wandered or the nights you felt too ashamed to pray. I saw it all, and I stayed. You may still carry guilt like a stone in your chest. You may think back to decisions you regret, times you hurt others, or didn't live up to the person you wanted to be. But child, listen closely. My love is not fragile. It doesn't run at the sight of your flaws. It doesn't flinch when the past comes calling. I loved you before your first mistake. I loved you during your darkest chapter. And I love you now with full knowledge of everything you've ever said, thought, or done. That's what makes it love. That's what makes it grace. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to beg for it. You only have to receive it. I know how hard you can be on yourself. I know the nights when you lie in bed, replaying what you wish you could undo. But child, do not let your past become a prison. Let it become a doorway, one I walk through to reach you with mercy. When I died on that cross, I saw your life stretched out in full beginning to end, and I still chose you gladly, without hesitation, because you were never just a name in the crowd to me. You are my beloved, my joy, my reason for staying. You may think you've disqualified yourself from my presence, but nothing, hear me again, nothing can separate you from my love. Not age, not sin, not silence, not even your own doubt. Tonight, I want you to lay it down. The shame, the regret, the old labels and voices that tell you you're not enough. Lay them down at my feet. You were never meant to carry them this far. Let me be the one who tells you who you are. Forgiven, cherished, still mine. You don't have to fix everything before you come to me. Come as you are, bruised, weary, unsure, and I will do the healing. That's my promise, and I've never broken a promise. So sleep tonight, not in fear of what you've done, but in the peace of what I've done for you. I stayed, I stay still, always and forever, Jesus, my precious child. As you settle under your blanket, and the world around you softens into quiet, I want to tell you something that may surprise you, something true, tender, and perhaps long overdue. You've made heaven smile more than you know. Yes, you, not just in grand moments, not just when you did something big or bold for others, but in the small things, the unseen things, the faithful everyday choices that nobody else noticed. I noticed. When you comforted someone with a word of hope, even while your own heart was aching, you made heaven smile. When you forgave even though it hurt, when you chose peace instead of bitterness, when you prayed quietly for someone who never knew it, you moved the heart of God. So many of your kindest moments were never posted, never praised, but they live in eternity, written not in fading ink, but in the light of love that never goes out. You've raised children, whether your own or someone else's, with patience that only heaven truly understands. You've held space for people in their sorrow. You've kept going when no one clapped for you. And oh, how proud I am of you for that. Child, the world often forgets to honor the ones who serve in silence, but I never forget. You've sown seeds of goodness in places where no spotlight shines, and I have watched each one take root. There were times when you wondered if your life made any real difference. But let me assure you, your kindness echoed through generations. Your quiet strength held others up more than you realize. Even the way you smile at a stranger or speak gently to someone the world overlooks, those moments build a kingdom in ways you'll one day see in full. Do you know what my angels say about you? They say, there goes one of his beloved, one who walks like Jesus, softly, faithfully, humbly. They rejoice over your heart. They sing over your courage. They stand in awe of the way you've loved through pain. So tonight, let me honor you. Let me be the one who says, well done, my faithful one. You don't need to strive anymore. You don't need to chase approval. You already have mine. Let those words cradle you tonight. Let them be a lullaby to your soul. Heaven smiles when you wake up and keep going. Heaven smiles when you choose love again and again. And heaven, including me, smiles right now, just watching you rest. You are a joy to my heart, always have been, always will be. Sleep in peace, my delight. You've done well today. You've done well with your life. With everlasting affection, Jesus, my beloved, as you lay down tonight and the quiet settles around you, you may wonder, do I still matter? Is there anything left for me to give or become? Let me answer you with unwavering clarity. Yes, you still carry purpose, even in this season, especially in this season. I know the world doesn't always recognize the quiet wisdom of age. It moves fast, chasing youth noise and newness. But my kingdom doesn't run on the world's clock. In my eyes, you're not slowing down. You are deepening. You've walked through valleys that others have yet to enter. You've climbed mountains with aching knees and steady faith. And because of that, you carry something sacred the world desperately needs. Perspective, compassion, tenderness born from trial, strength forged through surrender. You are not in life's afterthought. You are in its golden hour. Your words, simple as they may seem, carry decades of lived grace. A sentence from you can heal where paragraphs from others cannot. And your prayers, they are thunder in the unseen realm. You pray with weight because you've known loss. You've cried the kind of tears that turn into holy oil. You've pleaded for others, not just with hope, but with deep knowing love. Child, when you walk into a room, heaven walks with you. Your presence alone carries peace because you carry me. The smile you offer, the story you share, the patience you extend, they ripple through hearts far more than you see. You may not be planting gardens with your hands anymore, but you are planting faith with your voice. You are sowing gentleness in a world that's forgotten how. You are reflecting me in your quiet, steadfast way. And that, oh, how that matters. You are not done, not even close. You are a living psalm still being sung. So rest tonight in the knowing that you are still part of something eternal, still chosen, still commissioned. Even now your purpose breathes with life in your prayers, in your presence, in the very beating of your heart. Sleep not with questions, but with confidence. You are here for a reason, and I'm still writing beautiful things through your days. Good night, my precious vessel of purpose. We begin again tomorrow with unending devotion. Jesus, my gentle child, tonight, as you lie in the hush of your room, perhaps there's a shadow sitting nearby, not cast by the lamp, but by the quiet ache of loneliness. You may not talk about it often. You've grown strong over the years, good at putting on a smile, at saying I'm fine when you're really just holding it all together. But I know the truth. I know the hollow moments when you miss voices that once filled your home, laughter that now lives only in memories. I know the silence that can feel heavier than noise. So let me whisper something softly and truly. You have never been alone, not for a moment, and not even once. I have walked every hallway with you, sat beside you at every quiet meal, listened to your thoughts, the ones you never said out loud to anyone. When the house grew quiet and you wondered if your presence still mattered, I was there. When the night stretched long and your heart asked, "Does anyone see me?" I answered with my presence. You see, child, I don't need words to stay close. I don't need you to perform for my affection. I delight simply in being near you. And yes, I've watched the world shift, the friends who've moved on, the family that's grown busy, the days that seem slower and quieter than before. But you are not forgotten. You are not invisible. I walk beside you, not as a memory of the past, but as your ever-present companion now. I sit with you in your favorite chair. I walk with you in your garden. I ride with you when you take long drives to clear your mind. When you pause at the window and feel the ache of time passing, I stand beside you, placing peace over your shoulders like a warm shawl. You are not just seen, you are cherished. And when you whisper my name, even faintly, all of heaven hushes to listen. So tonight, if you feel forgotten, let me remind you, I have carved your name into my hands. I carry your memory, your laughter, your grief as my own. I am the friend who stays, the shepherd who never slumbers, the savior who never leaves. You can talk to me anytime. You don't have to rehearse or impress. Just speak from your heart or say nothing at all. I understand the silence, and when you dream tonight, know that I will be nearer than your breath, watching over you, loving you, holding you in peace. You're never truly alone. With me always, Jesus, my beloved. Before your eyes close tonight and you surrender to rest, I want to tell you something that too many voices in this world have forgotten to say. You are beautiful, not because of what the mirror shows, not because of how the world defines it, but because I see you fully, and what I see is breathtaking. You may not feel radiant anymore. You may catch glimpses of yourself in passing reflections and whisper, "Where did the years go?" You may touch the lines on your face and recall a younger version of yourself, one that the world seemed to celebrate more loudly. But child, I have never stopped celebrating you. Do you know what I see when I look at you? I see the beauty of someone who has loved through heartbreak, someone who has laughed even after tears, someone who has poured themselves out for others and kept going quietly, humbly, without applause. I see hands that have held others with tenderness, eyes that have witnessed life's highs and lows, feet that have walked faithfully through seasons, both joyful and hard. You are not worn out. You are woven strong. Every wrinkle is a story, every scar a testimony, every silver strand in your hair a crown of wisdom. And in a world obsessed with youth, I delight in your depth. There is a beauty that cannot be painted on, styled in, or airbrushed. It comes from me, and it grows with time, not fades. You've nurtured, forgiven, encouraged, endured. You've held others when you needed holding. You've lit candles of hope in dark places. That kind of beauty, it shines in eternity. So tonight, rest not with doubt in your heart, but with the truth. You are still captivating. You are still worthy of being seen, known, and loved. And I, your Jesus, see you like no one else can. Let my voice drown out the world's noise. Let it replace criticism with compassion, comparison with celebration. When you close your eyes tonight, imagine me gently brushing your hair back, cupping your face like a father who's proud of his child, and whispering, "You are beautiful, not because the world says so, but because I made you so, and I make no mistakes." Sleep now wrapped in this truth. Let it cover your heart like a soft blanket. You are and have always been beautiful to me. With tender awe, Jesus, my precious child, as the night deepens and the world quiets, I want to sit beside you and speak to something tender, something you've carried alone for far too long. Your tears, the ones you cried when no one was around, the ones you held back because you didn't want to be a burden, the ones that soaked your pillow in silence when you whispered, "God, are you there?" I saw them all. Not a single tear escaped my notice. They were never wasted, never ignored, never brushed aside by heaven. Each one fell into my hands. You see, I don't measure the strength of your faith by how happy you appear. I measure it by the courage it takes to keep going, even when you're weeping. Do you remember those moments when grief felt like it would crush your chest, when loss made the world go dim, when you cried out and felt like no one answered? I was there, not distant, not distracted, but beside you, holding space for your sorrow, cradling your pain as sacred, weeping with you like a friend who feels every ache. I know the tears you cried over people you've loved and lost, the ache that lingers in the quiet places of your day, the birthdays, the holidays, the empty chairs. But child, listen. Your sorrow is not weakness. It is love with no place to go but your eyes. And it is holy. In my word, it says, I collect your tears in a bottle. Yes, even now the ones you don't even fully understand. You may have thought, no one really knows how much I've carried, but I do. And I honor every drop of it. Because in those moments of raw grief, you are closest to me, closer than you realize. So tonight, if tears come, let them fall. Don't hold them back. You are safe here. You are seen here. Let my presence be the tissue for your soul. Let me be the one who understands the cries no one else could interpret. And know this, every tear you've shed has watered something sacred, compassion, resilience, a deeper bond with me. You are not fragile because you cry. You are faithful because you've never stopped believing, even through the heartbreak. So sleep tonight, knowing that your tears have built a bridge straight to my heart. I'm here. I've always been here. With you in joy, with you in sorrow, with you in every sigh between. With everlasting love, Jesus, my beloved child. Tonight, before your final yawn, before your thoughts drift into dreams, I want to remind you of something sacred, something quiet, yet powerful. When you pray, I'm already listening. Even before your lips form the words, even before your thoughts become sentences, even before you whisper Jesus, my heart is already leaning in. You see, prayer isn't a performance. It's not a duty or a ritual you must get right. It's a relationship, an eternal thread that ties your heart to mine. And I treasure it. I don't need perfect words from you. I don't require elegant prayers or memorized verses. What I long for most is your honesty, your voice, even if it trembles. Some of your most powerful prayers have been sighs, tears, whispers in the dark like, "Help me," or "I'm tired," or "Are you still there?" Yes, I am. Always. When you feel like your prayers bounce off the ceiling, remember this. Heaven is not far away. I am not delayed. I am not distracted. You have my undivided attention. Like a parent kneeling to hear their child, I bend down to you. I hold every word. I respond not always how you expect, but always with love. You may have prayed for things that didn't come the way you hoped, and I know that disappointment. I carry it with you. But child, no prayer ever goes unheard. Some are answered quickly, others slowly, and some I hold gently in my hands, because the answer you wait for requires more than time. It requires divine timing. I've answered your prayers in ways you didn't even recognize, protected you from things you never knew, prepared blessings you've yet to see. When you pray for someone else, a grandchild, a neighbor, a hurting friend, know this. Your voice moves heaven on their behalf. You are a warrior in ways you don't always feel. Your prayers shift things in the unseen. Your quiet faith lights up the dark. So tonight, if all you can say is, "Jesus, I'm here," that's enough. I'm here too. You've never prayed alone. Even when the room felt empty, I sat beside you, hands open, ears listening, heart fully engaged. And as you sleep, know that I'm still at work, still responding, still holding every plea you've whispered. Because prayer isn't just words, it's connection, companionship, love exchanged between us. Sleep tonight, knowing your voice is cherished, your heart is heard, and I'm already listening for tomorrow's first prayer. With holy attentiveness, Jesus, my beloved, as the night wraps its quiet arms around you, I want to draw your heart to a promise, one I made long ago, and one I have never forgotten. There is a place prepared just for you, not someday, not possibly, but certainly. I told you, in my Father's house are many rooms. I go to prepare a place for you, and I meant it. Your name is already written there, not because you were perfect, not because you earned it, but because you are mine. I know this world feels heavy. I know you've carried losses that have left their mark. People you love, gone too soon, places that once held joy, now silent. You've asked, will I see them again? And my answer, child, is yes. Those who believe, those who rested in me, they are not gone. They are home. And one day you will be too. But don't be afraid. Don't rush there in fear or dread. Your journey still has meaning here. But when that day comes, when your eyes close for the final time on earth, they will open to light, to music, unlike anything you've heard, to peace that doesn't end. And there I will be waiting at the door. You'll be greeted not by judgment, but by joy, not by a list of what you lacked, but by arms that have longed for your return. There will be no pain, no more questions, no more goodbyes, just presence, just reunion, just eternity. Imagine it a room with your name on it, colors that feel like comfort, a garden that knows your laughter, a table where your seat has never been empty in my eyes. Yes, there's a place for you, and it's not just about heaven's beauty, it's about belonging. You belong with me. You always have. Even when you felt out of place in this world, even when you wondered if anyone truly saw you, I was preparing something eternal for you. Tonight, let that truth be your lullaby. Let it settle the restless corners of your mind. This life is not all there is, and you are not alone in your waiting. Your forever has already been written with hope, with glory, and most of all with love. Sleep tonight with your spirit at ease. There is a place, and it's beautiful, and it's yours. And when that day comes, you will be home. With longing, enjoy Jesus. My precious one, you've made it to the end of the day, another chapter in your story, another step along your path. And before you drift into sleep, there's something I need you to carry deep into your heart. You are deeply, endlessly, eternally loved. Not because of what you've accomplished today, not because you said or did all the right things, but because you are mine. You've always been mine, even on the days you doubted me, even when you wondered if I had stepped away. I never did. Even when you couldn't feel me, I was still holding you. Even when the weight of the world made you question your worth, I whispered your name in heaven with tenderness. You're not a mistake. You're not forgotten. You're not too late or too lost. You are deeply known and deeply loved. I've watched your heart weather so many storms. I've seen your quiet bravery, your soft kindness, the way you've held others even while your own heart was breaking. And I say to you now with the authority of heaven and the gentleness of a friend, well done. You've loved when it was hard. You've prayed when it was quiet. You've hoped when things didn't make sense. You've shown up again and again when no one else saw. And I saw it all. So tonight I want you to rest. Truly rest. Let go of the tension in your shoulders. Let go of the to-do lists in your mind. Let go of the worries you've carried alone for too long. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to be everything. You just have to be. Be still. Be loved. Be mine. Let my love be the lullaby that hushes your fears. Let my promises be the blanket that warms your soul. Close your eyes now. Knowing this, you are forgiven, you are cherished, you are safe. And tomorrow, when the sun rises, my mercies will rise with it. So sleep in peace, child. I'm watching over you, and I'll be here when you wake. With everlasting love, Jesus. Good night, beloved. If this letter touched your heart, I invite you to take a moment and reflect. What worry or burden would you like to lay at Jesus' feet tonight? Share it below if you feel led, and let this be your quiet place of peace and connection. You are not alone. You are deeply loved. You will be okay.